Hey everybody, welcome back. It is an important week in English 110 because this is the week that you're going to be submitting your actual full-fledged argument essay. So it is the only full research paper that we are doing in English 110, but that is much more in line with some of the things that you'll be writing in other classes. So this is an important one for many, many reasons. I'm gonna, as usual, kind of take you through the week. We already know what this assignment is, so there shouldn't be any new stressful things that you need to do. I in last week's video, if you have not yet watched it, I did go through how to locate and use the APA citations for your references page that are in the library materials. So if you have not watched that, I'm not going to go through that again this week, but that will be an important piece. Remember, when you're writing a paper, you've actually already got some of the pieces and parts that you can use. You may be able to use at least one, if not both, of the paragraphs from Unit 4's Pro-Con assignment. And certainly you can use the a revised version of your assignment from week 5, which was where you wrote the actual introductory paragraph. You don't have to use that if you're no longer happy with it. Or, and this happens a lot when we write papers, sometimes when we write the introduction first, we end up sort of saying everything that we had to say. So sometimes I actually like to write the first paragraph last, meaning I'll write my entire essay and then write the introductory paragraph so that I am really aware of what I am, of what I'm writing about, of what I'm introducing. So with that being said, let's go to Unit 8 and talk about what the assignments are leading up to turning in that final essay. This, of course, or not 8, sorry, my brain is not working today, Unit 7. Of course, you should by now have at least almost a complete draft. And even if you're not completely done with it, at some point, you're going to need to do some revising and editing of the draft before you submit it. So we're going to be learning a lot about revision and editing this week in the lead up to that. When you are revising and editing your papers, I highly encourage you to get some help on it. Even a member of your family who may not have the best grammar themselves or whatever can be really helpful in helping you proofread your papers before you turn them in, because of course we don't see the mistakes that we make, and other people can usually catch those. You also, of course, have the ability to make use of the TutorMe system if you want some direct help from tutors through post. But anybody can take a look at your essay and give you some pointers. So don't be afraid to ask for some help on that. Readings and resources. This unit, you have a whole section on revising and editing, including a video and some reading assignments from the text. Not a huge amount to do, but this will help you. So make sure, as usual, that you are doing this before you move on to the graded assignments. As usual, you have 2 graded assignments, a discussion board, and then this week, of course, we have the to turn in the full argument essay, which we'll talk about more in just a second. For the discussion board this week, you are still going to be focusing on revision. And there's a couple of questions to sort of get you started here. What is your opinion on revision? How often do you revise your work? And of course, what are the dangers of not revising your work? And then this is the one that most people kind of forget about. It says here, share an example from your work this term of a piece of writing that you actually revised. So it could be any of the assignments that we've done, whether it's a formal writing assignment or a discussion board. If you took any time to polish it and revise it, you can use that as an example, and we'd love to hear the story about that. Of course, you're going to then post that by Wednesday, and then come back by the following Sunday to respond to me and or other classmates, at least 2 responses in order to make sure you maximize your points on that. And then, of course, the big assignment this week is the argument essay. We already know what the topics are. We've been working on this for a very long time, but there's a couple of links here that will help you. The first one is a checklist. So I really highly encourage you to actually walk through this checklist with your paper. Let's see, it's going to open and I'm going to have to reshare, I think, but let me add that. Okay, there it is. So this is a checklist that you can actually use. You could print it out if you wanted to. You don't have to. You can use it this way. You can also give this to anybody that you want to have help you check over your paper. So this is a good tool to use with family who may not know the assignment. If you're using somebody within your family or work friend, whatever. And then, of course, the other handout we've seen multiple times, and I have encouraged you over and over again to make sure that you are printing these out or at least writing down all of the requirements. Most of this we have gone over before, but I just want to hit some highlights here to remind you. It has to be on one of the 3 chosen topics, and you're going to take a position. Now, at least one person had asked me about what if I can see both sides of the issue. It is absolutely fine to cover both sides, but then, of course, at the end, you want to make some kind of statement about where you really fall. In your essay, you will have, I would say, at least 5 paragraphs. That would be an introduction, a conclusion, and at least 3 supporting reasons why you feel the way that you feel. Again, you don't have to say it's what you feel or you think. You get rid of all that. Remember, no first person, but you're going to have those body paragraphs that focus on reasons why that support your position. And again, there's going to be support for both sides of this issue. It's not a cut and dried, there's a right answer or a wrong answer. You need to have at least 3 reliable academic sources for this assignment. You have already located, hopefully, if you did the Unit 4 assignment correctly, you've already located 2 potential sources. And of course, one of them might have been on the opposite side, but you can still utilize that in your argument. So you need to have at least 3, though. Reliable academic sources. That means they come from the library. You should include evidence that you are quoting and paraphrasing and or summarizing. So we've practiced both of those things. In Unit 2, we practiced direct quotation with citation. And in Unit 4, we practiced paraphrasing or summarizing research and still including those citations. Now, a lot of you struggled, and it's normal to do so with getting those citations right, but that is going to be super key. So remember, every time you include something from your research, you have to have 2 things. You have to have an entry on the references page, and you should have that done before you even really start drafting the paper. We talked about that last week. In the body of the paper itself, you also have to have those in-text citations. And typically what's going to be inside those in an APA paper will be an author and a year. And in fact, for the library stuff, most of them will have those things. If you have a source that does not have an author, then you use the title and the year. If there is not a year, which again is kind of rare in library sources, but if you do have something that doesn't have a year, then you would put N period, D period for no date. Every paragraph in the body of this essay should have something cited. A lot of it can be your own interpretation and your own reactions to those cited pieces, but you have to have backup from expert opinion on your position. You will typically want to put your evidence in the middle of the body. That's what we practiced in Units 2 and 4. But you can put it at the beginning and then explain it, or you can sometimes talk about things and then put it at the end of the paragraph. But typically you want to have at least 1 piece of evidence in every single body paragraph. And as it points out here, you don't have to cover the other side, but you can have a paragraph on what the other side has to say as part of your argument. Typically, when we do that, we do it at the beginning. So you have your introduction, and then you have your other side paragraph, and then you have your own position paragraphs at the end. And then, of course, a final paragraph that wraps up your conclusion, brings everything back together. You must also have a references page. You must also have a cover page. So your essay will be usually between 4 to 5 total pages, where you have the cover page first, the essay starts on page 2, and then the references page will be the first blank page, whatever that is. So if your essay itself is 3 pages long, then it will be on the next page after that. Remember, of course, again, the objective third person voice. You want to focus only on one of the subjects, of course, and you are required to turn it in a Word document form or a PDF form in APA style. Remember that there is a template in Unit 1, and I've also posted at least one document that you can use to set up your APA in the announcements. So you can always go back through those and take a look. And then, of course, at the bottom of this, you have the rubric to help you understand what you're doing. When you are ready to turn in your assignment, you will click on this link and you will upload a document. You will not use the right submission. You will browse local files and you will choose wherever you have saved that file. When you've got it attached, you have to click the I agree to submit, and then you click the submit button down here. Okay. If you need any help through this week, please get in touch with me. I will be happy to walk you through some stuff and help you out. If you have not turned in one of the previous assignments, please do that first so that I can get you some feedback on it, and that will help you do better on your final paper. All right. So it's a big week. I hope everyone's having a good August here. And like I said, if you need help this week, please let me know. I'm around. Take care, everybody.